Welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your co-host, Coach Grand Canion, a.k.a. the doctor, a.k.a. the professor, a.k.a.
my husband.
What's up, girl?
How you doing, honey boo?
Good to see you again.
It's good to be seen on this.
I see you got your hair up in a bun today.
And this is not your favorite style. You like my hair down.
Yeah.
But this was, it's been raining. And I've been doing the lemonade stand with the baby.
And working out, too?
Working out. And so this is what you get, bruh. I mean, ain't nobody send me no wig recommendations, so this is what you get.
They showed in from last week.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing about no wigs.
Wow.
So, hey, this is what you get, boo, a bun, boo, unless you want to,
Okay.
get me a little lace front bust down. Is that what they call them?
Oh, no. Okay. All right, y'all. Listen, first of all, we want to say thank you for joining us.
Thank you
We want
so
you to
very
hit
much.
that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so you will get notified every time we drop a new video. Our YouTube channel is steady growing.
It's growing.
4,000 to 5,000 people every week, every month.
Mm-hmm.
We get 4,000 to 5,000 new people. And I can remember, baby, when I had 82 subscribers.
82. And you're
Almost 175,000.
wow.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Wow.
Must be doing something right.
I wonder how many I have. Do I have any subscribers?
Do you
Followers and
I don't think you
subscribers
have a
are
YouTube channel.
Oh.
But you got an Instagram. All right, y'all. Tonight's show. First of all, we want to talk about last week. Last week's show, a lot of things went viral on last week's show.
Yes.
We had a video go viral. Last week's title, if you have not seen that whole video, go to our YouTube page and watch it. Secret versus private.
Secret versus private.
That was deep, man.
Secret lover.
Give it to me.
That's what I was for you in the beginning, wasn't I? That's what I was.
Keep singing, and I'll let you know. Well, you weren't.
I was.
Well, yeah,
I was.
yeah. You was.
I was.
You was a secret lover.
I was.
I mean, you was secret. I mean, but then you became private. Then you became public.
Ooh, that's good.
You like that?
Everybody doesn't make it all of those levels, though.
No.
Everybody didn't make. I was. What is it? A million didn't make it, but I was one of the ones that did. I mean, all them women you went through, I was the one who made it, and I'm grateful.
Why you got to bring all that up? why we got to do all that over again?
I
was Ken before I was Coach Ken.
You were Ken. You were, but you know what? Even though you were out there being a garden tool, digging up weeds out of people's gardens and stuff, you were still so loving and so kind to me. I didn't know you was out there.
That's gonna lead us into our show tonight.
It is.
Because while I was out there doing the garden tool stuff,
yeah,
I don't think it was a garden tool. I think what I was doing is what a lot of young men do. At 20, 22, 23, 25 years old. They don't know.
Garden.
Okay.
Garden.
And, I just felt like that I wasn't ready to settle down because, that's what I liked about you. Mm-hmm. You weren't all about, let's settle down, let's do this. You really was all about getting to know, let's have fun.
I enjoyed you. You made life light and airy. You were so much fun. I had no intentions whatsoever to like you for forever. I enjoyed being around you. I enjoyed your conversation. And then I happened to fall in love.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I fell in love with the cootie cat first. And then I fell in love with you.
Well, at least he didn't embarrass me and say my mouth.
Well. No, because your mouth back then, you wasn't.
Kenny.
You know how you always say to me.
I opened up
you
that
always say, what that mouth do? You always say that to me. Your mouth wasn't doing, you wasn't doing that then. You was like, I remember when I first asked you, what you gonna do with your mouth? You was like, what? I don't do, what are you talking about?
I was a lady.
Plenty of ladies out there more using their mouth.
Okay. So
All right.
tonight,
Go ahead. Let's talk about what you got for us tonight.
okay. So tonight we are talking about. Do I do the letter first, or do I tell them what?
Oh no, let's talk about. Let's do the letter.
I do the letter first, okay, and then I tell them what the subject is.
Yeah.
Ken is teaching me how to take over, and so I am his student today.
Okay.
Am I okay?
No, yeah, that's right.
Okay. So here's a letter that I got, and it's actually to the both of us.
To the both of us.
To the
Okay.
both of us.
All right. Shoot.
Dear Coach Ken and Net, I need your help. I see how you help turn relationships around, and I'm hopeful that you can do the same for mine. I've been dating what I think to be the perfect lady. She's beautiful, smart, and very caring. We both have kids from previous relationships. Here is our issue. I met her kids early in the relationship, and I enjoy spending time with them. However, she's never met mine. I set a boundary years ago when they were babies that I would only introduce them to women I've dated for a year or more. It's only been 7 months. She feels like I should let go of my silly boundaries, is what she calls them, and just live. How do I let her or get her to understand how important this is to me? I'm raising young men, and I don't want them to get emotionally connected to someone that may not be around very long. Please help, James.
Okay.
So what would you say to James?
Wow. Number one, I think I would say to James, number one, that it's important for people in a relationship to understand the difference between a standard and a boundary.
Oh, yes.
I think we're going to talk about that tonight because when you brought it to me and I said, people don't know the difference.
They don't. I didn't know the difference between a standard and a boundary for a long time. And I didn't realize that I did not have standards. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I remember when you and I were dating and you would often say to me, you should never compromise your standards. Never, ever compromise your standards, not even for me. And I would always say, I ain't compromising my standards. You can't make me compromise my standards. But as I grew and as I matured, I realized I never even had any standards to compromise. And so first, it is to understand the difference, but it is to create them both too.
Okay, right. And so I would like, and talking about what I would tell James. Number one, I would say, instead of that being a boundary, it is a standard.
Okay.
A standard is, and we'll go into, is what you want to happen. A boundary is what you don't want to happen.
So that's actually a standard for him and not a boundary. Okay.
Right. A standard is what I want to happen is I want to introduce my children to someone I'm dating over a year. That's what I want to do. Okay.
But could that not be a boundary as well?
It could be a boundary. And it's funny I'm glad you said that. It could be a boundary. It depends on how you view it, how you word it. The boundary could be, I don't want, remember, a boundary is what you don't want to happen. A standard is what you do want to happen. And what I always say, a standard is the bare minimum that you will accept happening. Okay? For instance, for a boundary in this case, it would be a situation like, I don't want to introduce anybody to my children prior to being in a relationship with them.
Okay.
That's my boundary. All right? So yes, it could be framed as a boundary or it could be framed as a standard. Okay. Now, what is the difference? I'm going to ask you this. Why would you frame either one either way? This is the important part. This is why do you think you frame it either way, standard versus boundary?
Why would I frame it either way?
Yeah, right, because you can frame the same thing as a standard or a boundary.
I don't know if I'm being clear on what you're asking me, but I always say to make it easy for somebody to understand, a standard is saying yes and a boundary is saying no.
Okay.
And so I would frame it that way. You mean the way that he framed it, or
No. I like what you said. A standard is saying
a
yes.
standard is saying yes, this is what I will accept, and a boundary is saying no, I will not accept this.
And so what I want
so-
you to think about it
Okay.
is the standard is something obviously that I want to aspire to live by,
Okay.
Okay. My standard is that I will, just for instance, my standard is I will only drive new cars. Not me.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
some people
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that is my standard. That is what I would want to happen in my life. My standard is I will get up 4 days a week to go to the gym. That is my
Okay.
standard. that is the minimum that I will accept for my life. Do you follow what I'm
Does
saying?
it have to be the minimum?
It is the minimum. If it's a standard,
Okay,
it is the minimum that I would accept for my standard.
Okay.
Now, if you will go 2 times a week, then your standard 2 times a week.
Okay.
Your standard is not 4.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. The standard is the minimum that I will accept for my life.
Okay.
All right. My standard is I won't work for anybody else. Is that I will be an entrepreneur. That's my minimum standard. That I won't work for anybody else.
Okay, so I came up with like my own little definition for standard.
Okay, give him to me.
And so it is a rule that you establish for a measure of quality for your life.
I love it.
A rule that you have established to measure or for a measure of quality of your life. So, and then for a boundary, it is a physical or emotional, mental limit that I establish, or what I will tolerate or accept, like some person's behavior for my life.
Right.
So with these two definitions, would that be considered a standard or a boundary?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm asking what you agree with. I asked you a question. I'm saying with these definitions,
cut.
with these definitions, would that be considered a standard or a boundary?
I agree. Yes. I agree with what you said. Read the first one again. It is the value that I would accept.
No.
Oh.
I asked, with these two definitions that I gave you,
Okay.
with that letter,
Oh, with Jay.
yes, would that be considered him setting a boundary or creating a standard?
He's creating a standard.
Okay. That was
Because he said that's the value. Go read your definition, and I'm going to read for standard.
okay. I guess I need my glasses. A rule that you establish for a measure of quality.
A rule that he established for a measure of quality for, go ahead.
For your life,
For
in
his-
my life or for my life.
Right. So my rule is I will introduce the person I'm dating after we've been dating for a year. That is my stand. That is the rule of quality for my life and my children.
So how important do you think it is to create standards and boundaries? A lot of times we just go into relationships and we jump in and try to create a standard or a boundary when we're there.
I think they're so important. You know why? But let's go into boundaries.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't set boundaries. See, a standard is for me. A boundary is for them.
Ooh. Say that again.
A standard is for me to live by. A
like
boundary
that.
is for you to live by.
I like that.
Do you get it? Because if I set a boundary that you cannot raise your voice at me. If we're having a conversation and we start arguing, I create a boundary for you as it pertains to me, for
like
you,
that.
you cannot raise your voice at me.
Right.
That's
I
my
like that.
boundary. Like the standard for me, boundary for you. Okay.
Ooh. So it's the same thing, like a standard and a boundary.
Are similar in nature.
They're very similar in nature, but for me, it would be my standard. But For you, it's your boundary. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something to you tonight for that. That was good.
As long as you catch you before 9:30.
Yeah, I'm going to put that thing on your back. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, dude, that thing works. That thing feel good. And so let's go through some boundaries.
Okay,
we're going to go through some boundaries and we'll talk standard. One of your boundaries is, it might be, I'm just throwing it, you can't call me after 10 o'clock at night.
That is a boundary for you. That's a standard for you, but a boundary for me.
Right.
So when you're that's so important. That's so important that we stop and say that when you are creating standards, at the same time you're creating boundaries. Like I never ever looked at it like that until just now.
Right.
I looked at them as two separate things, but they're really not when you use them that way.
Right. And when you look at it, I create a standard, and it's like polarity. Polarity, hot. There will be no hot without cold. No light without day. The polarity is, in this situation, the standard is for me. The opposite of that is the boundary for you. So if I create a standard for me that I will be in a relationship with someone who, now get this. This is I'm gonna use it for a relationship. My standard is that we have sex 3 times a week. My standard. Okay? Well, the boundary is we can't have sex less than 3 times a week. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it. But the truth is a boundary is in place for me to protect my well-being emotionally and mentally. I know we're making jokes about it.
Yeah.
But when I tell people about creating boundaries, a boundary is something that is okay with me in my life inside. I create the boundaries so that I stay okay mentally and emotionally. And that's why I was like, raising your voice at me. I can't do that. I can't allow you to do that. Another boundary, just name some boundaries. One boundary might be, I won't allow you to date multiple people while you're dating me.
So what happens when, let's just say, you set a boundary, or you don't have any boundaries, let's just say, and then you get into a relationship and you realize, I need to set some boundaries. How do you do that when you've given somebody free for all in the beginning?
Ooh, when I tell you that's such a good question, because many people fall into this. They don't set the boundaries in thinking that if I set a boundary, the other person might not want to stay with me. They might want to end the relationship. But then they find out that because they have not set any boundaries, it's affecting them mentally, emotionally, and sometimes even physically. And so now you haven't set a boundary. And then you get ready and feel like I need to set a boundary because so you're asking me how to do that?
Yes.
The first thing you do is when you approach it, you say to the person, like to you, I should have done this. I did not. I should have set a boundary because here's what's happening to me, or what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking as a result of not doing it. Notice what I just did. I don't just come and say, we've been doing this a certain way, you've been going past my boundary, but now I try to stop it. Without any explanation, without telling you what I'm setting, why I'm doing it, and how it's affected me because I haven't done it.
So you're saying, okay, I should have set this boundary. I did not.
Right.
Let me set it now.
No, you're missing a piece.
Okay, what?
I didn't set this boundary.
I didn't set this
boundary.
boundary.
You raising your voice at me when we talk, when we get in a disagreement. I should have said it.
I should have said
it. And the reason I should have said it, because this is how it's affecting me. When you raise your voice, I feel anxiety. I feel this and I feel that. And that's not conducive to my emotional well-being. Then I go into setting it.
I think that's what you and I did. I don't think we knew to set boundaries in the beginning.
Right.
And so we set boundaries along the way. And sometimes there was some pushback. Not all the time, but sometimes you will get pushback just from a person not being used to that. So how do you deal with the pushback?
Well, just like you would for anything else. If it's your boundary, you gotta stand on it. You gotta stand 10 toes down on it. Because here's the thing. You know what happens to people who don't?
What?
And a lot of people listening to me right now. And I want everybody to listen. I want you to think about times when you didn't set a boundary. But you wanted to. You didn't set it, but you knew you should have. But what happens is you begin, number one, you begin to get angry inside because you didn't set it, because the person keeps going beyond your boundary. Then resentment sets in. Resentment sets into the other person. Then bitterness sets in. And when bitterness sets, see, all of this stuff is taking place under the surface.
Ooh.
All of it's taking place inside. And so I often say every seed planted grows into something. But you just don't know what it's going to grow into. But these are the steps before one day the person comes and say, yeah, I don't want to be in this relationship. And you're like, what? What happened?
You didn't respect my such and such, or you didn't respect this.
And they're looking like,
I didn't.
Really? I didn't know.
So Ken, how important?
You called me Ken.
I did. Wow.
But you call me Kenny. Why you call me Ken?
I don't know.
I
was just in my interview and I was like in my zone, and you knocked me off my.
I'm just saying you call me Kenny.
So Kenny, I said this at the top of the show about you talking to me about standards.
Okay.
How important is it for a person to have standards before they start dating, or do you? Let's see. How can I say this? Do you have just a list of standards, or do I have a different standard for Ken, a different standard for James, or do I just have?
No, your standards are what you live by, your core value system.
Okay.
If you got a standard for James, then it should be the same standard for Ken.
Okay.
That's where a lot of people go wrong. Is because what they do is because they like Ken.
They don't require.
They don't really require that standard.
Boy, if I had $2, I'd give it to you. That right there was worth. Say that again.
What it is they might not like James that much. So it's easy to hold the standard.
More.
So require more for him to rise up to a bar. But when it's Ken, I like what we do. We lower it. So, and we lower it and we make excuses and we say things like, oh, he good. And you make excuses for him not rising, and we don't require it because we like him because we think he might leave.
What would you guys say about standards and boundaries? Do relationships need them? I of course I think they do. Is it one size fit all, or do you customize it according to the person that you with? I'd like to know what our audience thinks about that.
Yeah, and so my advice to James is that James, at the end of the day, it is your standard. Mm-hmm. Live by it.
Okay.
Live by it. And she may not understand it, but what I would tell James to tell her that there are things, core values that you believe in your life. And if you were to not live by your core values, you would be living an inauthentic life.
Oh, that's so good.
And then you will ultimately resent yourself for not doing it.
Why would you say he would resent himself?
Watch this. Mm-hmm. How many times have you had friends or people say they start beating themselves up because first they see what the other person did to them. Mm-hmm. Then they say, how could I allow that shit? Mm-hmm. How can I let that happen? And then they begin second guessing themselves. Then they're thinking, why did I do? Then they begin to pulverize themselves over emotionally over what they allowed to happen. Mm. That's why.
So when creating a standard or a boundary and you're sharing it with your significant other or whomever, how important is it to be very clear on what you want, opposed to being a little vague, because of fear. Sometimes we'll start sharing something and we might, like for me, when I want to tell you something and I want to when I want to get all of it out, I won't look at you. Because I know you're going to make some kind of face. And then I either draw back or I'll get mad,
What?
I'm just saying, because it's like...
So when you looking down, you got something to say?
It's like you making this face and I'm like, ooh, maybe
Do
I
the
don't
face
need
look
to
like
say...
this?
Yes, golly. And so it's either like, ooh, maybe I don't need to talk about this right now. Maybe this is a bad subject, or I don't know why he getting so mad. So how important is it to be very clear?
You need some water?
Yes. That kind of...
Cut! Hey, look.
I feel like a fur ball went down my throat. Taylor, you didn't drink out of this, did you? No. You just had a wild weekend.
She didn't have a wild weekend. I don't tell her what.
Was already open.
Oh, you crying.
Ooh, it just feel like something tickling my throat.
And I ain't even over there.
Oh, gosh. Only Ken. Why do I cry every week, don't I? Ooh,
Why? You got tears coming out your eye.
Chokey wokey.
Ain't the first time.
Wow.
Why I be the only one laughing at my own jokes in here? Everybody, why I be laughing at my own jokes?
You remind me of when I used to do open mic. And I would stand up and clap for everybody. And you would be like, why are you clapping? Laughing at your own jokes.
Oh, really? I'm trying to say, it ain't funny.
I didn't say nothing. No, my question though, to you was, how important is it to be clear when you're setting or sharing your boundaries or your standards with people?
It's super important. Super important. Because the reason why it's important, whenever there's ambiguity, there's uncertainty. Mm-hmm. Whenever there's uncertainty creates anxiety. Whenever there's anxiety, what happens next? You don't say. Anxiety leads to lack of communication. Anxiety leads to fear. And anxiety leads to a situation where it is not always healthy. So that is the reason why it's important. It's important to be crystal clear. Now, I get it. I get it, though. Sometimes it takes time to make that work. It does. Mm-hmm. You got to grow into it. And especially if you're the type of person who has a certain attachment style and you don't ever want to, you suppress what you're thinking, because you're good for suppressing shit.
I am.
You good for suppressing it. And I'm like, what's going on? Nothing. And I know something wrong with you. It's almost like when you say nothing, you might as well just say, I don't want to talk about it. Because I know it's something wrong with you. Nothing.
But if I say, I don't want to talk about it, then that creates a different conversation.
Well, then what if you say, what if we talk about it later? Could we talk about it later?
What time?
Yes, I would say that. But then I would shut up.
That creates anxiety. I was talking to a friend today, and like all of that questioning back to back, I can't handle that. That's too much.
But I
can't answer questions like that back to back. It makes me angry. It pushes my anxiety level up, and I just get I start sweating, and I get upset, and then I just ooh, and then so it's better for me to just say nothing.
You got anger issues?
It's better for me to just say nothing.
You know what? I didn't realize you have anger issues.
About certain things that I'm passionate about.
Because really,
I wouldn't call them anger issues. Well, I would call it passion.
No, your ass got anger issues. I mean, let's keep it a buck.
When did I display anger?
I'm just saying.
If you don't have a story, then it's not.
I mean, I got a story though.
When was I angry?
Yes, 2 days ago. when you yelling at me going out the house about something, when we talked about what we talked about, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything ever again about it. Well, yeah. You remember?
That was a very sensitive
But you still
subject.
got mad at me, and I never raised my voice.
We had that discussion. We'd had that discussion before. You knew that it was a very sensitive subject. I gave you my
angry
answer.
towards me?
You did not. You did not accept my
I
answer.
did.
No, you didn't.
I just told you I wasn't going to never say nothing again
That's
about
not
it.
accepting my answer to me.
How is that not accepting?
me.
I said I wasn't going to never say nothing again about
And
it.
then so
I would never.
It pushed me into a hot flash. I started sweating profusely, and by the time the sweat had started on the back of my calf, I did not know anything else to do but raise my voice.
You lashed out. I mean, did I raise my voice at all? Did I raise it at all?
I don't remember.
You would have remembered if I raised it.
I probably would, but at this
I didn't
moment,
raise my voice at all. And you notice the old me years ago, you know what? Because I used the PCC, Pocket Communication Coach, because I used that, I noticed I didn't raise my voice. I said, I won't say it again. And I told you, I said, I swear to God, I will never mention it again.
But when he said he wouldn't mention it again, he didn't say it that nice.
I didn't raise my voice.
He was being a jack donkey.
What, AKA what?
A jackass.
Okay. Now, but I didn't raise my voice.
But you were being a jack donkey, so it's
You
the same
thought
thing.
I was being sarcastic when I was saying
you were.
I won't
You were
do
being
it.
a jack donkey, Kenny.
You know what my boundary is? You want to know what my boundary
What is your boundary?
My boundary is I don't allow people to yell at me when we go in a discussion. I don't allow it. And I allowed you to go past my boundary.
You know what?
You know
what's
what
crazy?
that tells me?
You know what's crazy?
What?
Is today is the first time I've heard that.
That's my boundary. I don't let people yell at me when we in a conversation because I don't yell at people. That's why I didn't yell at you.
You didn't yell at me 2 days ago.
I don't yell. Hey,
he just got delivered.
I mean, when
that.
I'm mad, do I yell?
He just got delivered.
I'm looking at. You know what?
He just got delivered from that.
I've been delivered. I go.
I was delivered. Now I don't know.
I'm delivered. I get it.
I'm just saying.
But now you and P, y'all know I used to have anger issues, but I don't get mad much. Now do I, P? Do I? Okay,
What
see?
is the definition of much? No, you don't. You do not.
You would even say that.
Not. You do not. I was kidding when I said that part of it, but no, you don't get angry much.
I don't get angry much.
You let a lot of stuff roll off your back now, and every now and then I get pumped up.
You done picked up that anger.
Every now and then I get pumped up because hey.
So let's do this. Let's
Okay.
talk about number one. I'm gonna tell y'all the reason why I don't do that is because of the PCC, Pocket Communication Coach. I want you to download that, pocketcommunicationcoach.com. It helped me to communicate better. I created it for people like me. People who used to get angry and people like her now.
I thought
people like who I used to be, but people like her now who get angry, who have anger issues. And if you don't know how to say it, pocketcommunicationcoach.com, I created it just for you. This show is sponsored by pocketcommunicationcoach.com.
I just want to say this. Every now and then you got to raise up so they can sit down. Go ahead.
I don't know where you got that from.
It just came up.
Gave you 3 claps.
It just came up. It just came off the top of my dome,
give your
just
ass
like
3
that.
claps.
Okay, come on, let's do it.
All right, so let's end it with this.
So guys, also while you're getting that, I want to invite you guys to come out July 27th.
Yeah.
It's in High Point.
High Point, no.
Candid Conversations with the Grand Canions.
It's gonna be off the
The
chain.
link will be in the bio to get your tickets. They are selling fast. We are also selling virtual seats. And so how can I get the virtual tickets?
Oh,
Casey?
the same place. It's same place.
The link is in the bio. We would love to have your face in the place and your body at the party. Y'all, we had a wonder. Listen, just added Tanya Ross is gonna be in
Oh,
there.
in the building.
She is. If you have not experienced Tanya Ross, you are in for a treat. If you have have ever sat and listened to the sultry sounds of Tanya Ross, you know that your night is gonna start
I
off
saw
with
her on Facebook.
You did.
She was performing with Aunt B.
Okay.
Oh, she was doing. I said I can't wait.
She is. She's a beast.
She's a beast.
All by herself.
All by herself. All right. I got a question.
Yes.
All right. We only gonna do one.
This is how you look. Let me do you like you did me last week. You didn't even show him the game, man.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't even show it to him.
We sell a lot of these every week. The Moment of Truth card game. This is the sex edition, and this is the classic edition. I'm sorry. All right, and I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, what is it?
This comes out of the sex edition. Are you ready? No, it actually comes out of the regular edition. Okay.
And drooled and
How would you break up with someone who couldn't sexually satisfy you? A, I just need to work on myself for a while. B, I don't want to hurt you, but I'm not happy. C, I think we should just be friends. Or D, your sex is trash. So either I leave or I cheat. Your choice. A, first question. How would you break up with someone who couldn't sexually satify you?
I need to work on myself.
That's what you would say?
Yeah, it's not you, it's me. I need to work on myself.
Man, you a dude. Dude say that shit.
That's what I would say. What was the third? What was C?
I think we should be friends.
Yeah, if his sex is trash, I don't necessarily want to be his friend. Like, cause when I look at him, like if we hanging out, it's in my mind. Like if we out, like having drinks, or I'm just be like, you trashy sex. Like I would think. Yeah. So let me work on me.
Last question. One more.
What would you do? What would you say if somebody's sex was trash?
I think we just need to be friends. We just need to be friends.
Why? But why? That's gonna come. After that.
I need to work on me. I need to work on me. I need to work on me.
So what would you say, audience? A, B, C, or D? What was it again? A, I need to work on me. B, he done lost it.
I done put it down. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. I don't know. I lost. There's a lot of cards here. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Here it is. How would you break up with someone who couldn't sexually satisfy you?
Audience.
A, I just need to work on myself for a while. B, I don't want to hurt you, but I'm not happy. C, I think we should be friends. Or D, your sex is trash. So either I leave or I cheat. Your choice.
If somebody told me that, look, your sex is trash. We can still be together, but I'm going to go out and, hit a couple more, and we're going to do it like that, or, what you want me to leave, what? No, you can go. I wonder, do people honestly tell people that their sex is trash? Somebody would say that to somebody?
They say anything out there.
That's not nice.
Well, on that note, we're going to let you
I wouldn't do that.
I ain't going to even do no nothing.
I wouldn't do it with you anymore.
You wouldn't?
No, if you told me that my Cool Nature Stank was trash.
I wouldn't want to do it with you no more if it was trash. I mean, I would.
But I'm just saying the end, either I cheat or da.
I wouldn't want to do it with you with trash.
I don't think that's nice to tell somebody that their sex is trash.
Get the PCC and we can say it a little different. PCC, we'll say it a little different. All right, that's it. That's a good comment.
That's got me sad.
Thank you for asking about boundaries and standards tonight. I know this ain't no rah-rah message like they do in church, but it's a necessary message.
I think it is very,
for somebody
very important.
who doesn't have boundaries or standards.
I will say, I think it is very, very, and I'm just speaking to my young ladies. Very, very important to create standards and boundaries, or you will fall for anything. You would be willing to accept anything, not going in with a clear set boundary. I feel like you owe it to yourself and whomever you're in a relationship with.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.